Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I want to do a couple of things today. I obviously am going to stay on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I will do that until we get a resolution there, until Russia gets out of Ukraine. I've been asked to look at the Manhattan DA's decision again. I've already looked at that before. My reading showed that I didn't feel he was on the take, so to speak. He made a decision not to proceed with the Trump case. Very disappointing for so many people. We'll take a look at that again through the cards, seeing that you've asked me to. And then I've also been asked about the French election, upcoming French election in a couple of weeks. Now, Emmanuel Macron is obviously the favourite. I've seen he does scrape through, but let's check up on that again for our friends in France. Of course, stability in Europe is really essential at this time. The president of the US, Joe Biden, has recently been in Europe and delivered a absolutely monumental, inspiring speech in Poland, which really took my breath away. I think I've seen Biden speak very well over in a number, particularly when he was elected president, and when he was debating. He was very, very good in the debates, presidential debates. But I think he rose to the occasion in Poland, and I just made me stop and pause and think what would have happened in this situation had the ex-president been in power. All right, so let's get started with the cards. The moon is in Capricorn, I think, moving into Aquarius. So Aquarius, of course, rules the 11th house, which of course is the sign of groups. It's the sign of communities. It's the sign of the greater good. I think Zelensky is an Aquarian, so he's the president of Ukraine. So is this the time when we will see some kind of deal struck? Just because the cities in Ukraine have just been razed to the ground. Mariupol, for example, I saw some before and after shots. It's heartbreaking, really is heartbreaking. He's been after a no-fly zone. He's been after jets so that the Ukrainians can get them up in the air and stop the bombing. But of course, Ukraine's not a member of NATO, and his requests have not been met. He has, though, received substantial monetary assistance and various weaponries, including drones, that are very efficient in taking out missiles. Ukrainians are doing extremely well in defending their country. They will to the death, and it has been a moment to wake the world up as to how fragile our world peace actually is. All right, let's get started. Basically, Zelensky's calling for the peace deal, which he will put to a referendum before he does anything. And the deal would be, look, there's a lot of strengths coming out. He's so strong. The invasion, or Russian troops, I'm assuming, would withdraw, providing Ukraine gave an assurance that it would be neutral. What does neutral mean? Zelensky has said in that sense he wants assurances, written assurances, contracts, not memorandum of understandings that can be broken, but ironclad commitment contracts that Ukraine will be defended if its sovereignty is challenged again in the future. From a number of parties, he's saying. So that's what he wants in return, and he will put it to the people of Ukraine. Now, we already know that Putin says one thing does another. That's called a lie. Well, slippery and lying. Go with that statement. So, you know, can he be trusted? I'm just getting things jumping out. We've got the Empress card and the Ten of Cups, which is home and family and abundance. You know, when we look at what occurred in Syria, everything destroyed. Okay, let's concentrate on a peace deal. I did see a peace deal occurring in earlier readings. Is it this or is it something else? Will there be, will Zelensky negotiate? Will Ukraine negotiate a peace deal with the invading Russia? Will Zelensky successfully negotiate? I think they're doing the negotiations in Turkey. Will Ukraine successfully negotiate a peace deal with Russia? So we have here the Two of Wands. Not right now. The Two of Wands talks about a crossroads. It talks about many paths that one can take, but it also talks about something coming to fruition in time. There are two ways that this could go. It is a yes card. It's a signifier card. I haven't got to the full reading yet, but it is optimistic to say that yes, it could be likely a peace deal will be negotiated in time. It is crossed by the Ten of Pentacles. So this is money. So there's something here around money, and it could be that Russia wants those sanctions lifted as well. Zelensky could want reparation. There's a lot of ways that this could go. So, not right yet. There's also the question that the world has given Ukraine a lot of money here. Now, the Seven of Pentacles, again, there's something around what does Putin want? It's tied to money. Now, we have the Seven of Pentacles. That's a downturn. That's at the foundation of the reading. That's a downturn in the harvest. That's something that doesn't produce a yield, and so they've got to go back and re-examine something. This could also be Russia came out in the last couple of days and said it was changing its tactics. It was no longer pursuing a full-blown kind of march on Ukraine. It was concentrating on liberating those so-called separatist states, and then it would have achieved its military goal, but then it started bombing very close to the Polish border after, while Biden was visiting. It looks like Russia is looking for a deal. Let's just put it like that, because things haven't gone the way that they want. The High Priestess is in the past. So she represents obviously something that is coming through from the subconscious to the unconscious. She always appears when we have an event out of left field that we perhaps weren't expecting. I'm glad to see her in a way in the past, because it shows me that perhaps there's nothing that we are not expecting. You know, I've done multiple readings where I just don't get a pull to nuclear force or nuclear weaponry, but still she's in the past. And again with this Seven of Pentacles, trust level on the reliability of what Putin could or would do is very low. We know that. Four of Pentacles in the sky. So what's crowning this reading is, again, they're running short. Russia's running short of monetary resources. Zelensky's country is being destroyed. Everybody is kind of like, it's a no-win. You know, it's a no-win for anybody. There's been so many deaths. But this is also standing one's ground, not ready to back off quite yet. So I'm going to say that conditions in the invasion of Ukraine haven't gone Russia's way. We know that. But Zelensky also wants this deal because there's a wholesale destruction here. A lot of the issues are around financial resources for Russia at this time. the World card in the immediate future, that's endings and new beginnings. So I'm going to say there is a peace deal negotiated. The Two of Wands talks about a period of time, as I say, 2 weeks, 2 months. It could be weeks away, months away, but ultimately it's in the immediate future. So we're not going to get to December and still see this war raging. There'll be a peace deal. I feel that these cards are telling me in the next few months. Well, weeks, months. Okay, the Three of Wands in the here and now. This is, waiting for one ship to come in. So this is the ports. Much of this deal may rest on Putin wanting these seaports. Again, that's been coming up in my readings. And Zelensky is not going to allow Ukraine to be left without access to the sea. This is where I think this is at. And of course, we see the Five of Wands, obstacles and challenges. That's definitely where they can't or won't agree. I don't know how that gets solved. Russia needs to get out of Ukrainian land and seaports. The hopes and fears, do I need to explain that card? Really? It's not, Ukraine is, parts of Ukraine are being destroyed, and the Russian army, who have low motivation to actually wage this war in Ukraine, are demoralized as well. Eight of Cups, walking away from what no longer serves you, resignation. That actually is a no card. And the Seven of Swords, we've got lies and theft. Not nice energy. And Two of Pentacles, a decision needing to be made. So it looks like there might be a ceasefire, perhaps, but something is not worked out. Something is still in negotiation. I'm going to draw a clarification on that Eight of Cups. This is walking away from what no longer serves. My outcome cards can also tell a fuller story. It's not just, tarot's never been about yes, no, maybe. It's also about the way that the messages are coming through to me. And often I'll get an outcome card or outcome row along this row, which basically sums up the situation. And so I will then draw some clarifying cards. But I can say that, yes, there will be some kind of ceasefire deal done. But right now, there will be a sticking point around a seaport or seaports. Now, the full card talks about new beginnings, the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so Ukraine is in a pretty good position with the help it's received from the West, without a doubt. Let's just see if this Eight of Cups, is this Putin walking away? Again, the seaports are really, really visible here. Is this what he wanted all along, that area of Mariupol? The Eight of Cups. He didn't get Odessa, did he? No, he hasn't. Eight of Cups. What is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, things want to jump out. All right, the Six of Wands looking like retreat, moving out of troubled waters, and the Nine of Wands, guardrails, barriers put up. So, yes, I think this is him leaving Ukraine ultimately. But he leaves with what he came, in a way, something he came to get. And I do believe that is access around Crimea and the sea. Is this correct, Spirit? Am I getting this right? I'm just looking at that Seven of Pentacles. King of Swords, yep. Yep, that's what he wanted. And we've got Temperance and Moderation and the Two of Swords. So he has a decision, but again, the Seven of Swords comes up twice. So, in a way, he takes something away with him. Okay, so we've got the Lovers and we've got Justice. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, I guess, what do you say at the end of the day when there's this peace deal done? He perhaps gets something that he wants, and Zelensky gets the peace and starts to rebuild with the help of the help of the West rebuild Ukraine. You know, why? What's this all been about? Ultimately, as I said, Russia is not doing well in this war. Putin is under threat. There's conjecture that it's the FSB, but was the KGB, that there are leaks and coming out of that organisation, and that the FSB are plotting against Putin. And of course, if you've looked at my other readings, he'll probably wish he didn't ever do this, because I think this will lead to his downfall. Okay, let's get started on the next question of we'll go to America now. The DA Alvin Bragg. Now, I just want to also mention that this reading is for entertainment purposes only, and please be careful about, dragging, defamatory and libelous type of comments about Bragg. This is a tarot reading, okay? We don't have evidence that he's taking money or, he's being got at or anything like that. My initial feeling was he didn't have the motivation to see this through. It was complicated. He wanted Weiselberg to flip the burden of proof that links, okay? So there's proof that the Trump organisation broke the law, and that prosecution will be going through. Weiselberg has been indicted, and the case will proceed. But the link between Weiselberg and Trump, as we know, Trump always has a fall guy, Cohen, indeed Mark Meadows, and he's very slippery in terms of his fingerprints being on things. And this is, I felt, why Bragg hesitated, because they didn't have a strong enough link to prove Trump's guilt. So anyway, that was my initial impression. We'll throw cards again. But I just want to read you a bit about Alvin Bragg. He's a Democrat. He is the first African-American elected to the Manhattan DA's position. He worked under Eric Schneiderman, who campaigned against Trump. He was the Deputy Attorney General there for New York. His background, when I look at it, he successfully prosecuted against those, remember Eric Garner, who was a death in custody. He led that prosecution. He's got a pretty good record of justice. So why now? What's going on? He campaigned. He said this case would be front and centre. Then you've got to bear in mind that Trump flourished in New York. Breaking the law, obviously. Many people tried to go after him. Nobody got him. And eventually he rose to be President of the United States. So let's just take a look. What happened? I'm just going to ask what happened here. Really, really disappointed. I felt that before Cy Vance left, they were very, very close to nailing this case. And then Alvin Bragg was elected. So what has happened? What has happened here? Bragg says the investigation is ongoing, but that's not what we're seeing. Okay, what happened with Alvin Bragg? What happened with Alvin Bragg, please? Why didn't he, or why isn't he, taking this case forward? Alvin Bragg. Lena. I'm just going to let that go. Just going to let that go to the keeper. Okay, so why isn't Bragg... Sorry about that, I should turn my phone off. Why isn't Bragg prosecuting Trump? Let me just refocus. Why isn't Bragg prosecuting Trump? So I'm getting there's a Seven of Swords energy here as well. Did he ever intend to take this prosecution further? And if not, why? Why didn't Bragg prosecute Trump, or isn't prosecuting Trump? Yeah, so we've got resignation, walking away, and we've got endings. So I think the case is finished. I'm getting that the case is finished. Why didn't he prosecute? Or isn't he prosecuting? Okay, Three of Wands talks about a lot of work being done. Three of Wands is a good card. It's like they've got a lot of evidence there. The Page of Wands. Okay, so something in that evidence wasn't as strong as what they initially thought. The Page is not the king. It can also relate to his motivation and passion to move forward with this. The Knight of Wands, movement. Okay, so there's a lot of passion, motivation, energy here. I don't know. Is it over? Is the jury still out? Because it looks like there's a movement forward here as the foundation of the reading. Ten of Wands, yeah, struggling with, I think, the burden of proof, the evidential link between Weiselberg and Trump, when Weiselberg wouldn't flip. But also a lot of work. You know, to me, this is exhaustion. It's like the case was so heavy, so exhausting. You know, you're looking at a state-based jurisdiction. We haven't even heard from the DOJ yet, the Department of Justice, who has these huge resources and woman power, budgets, etc. It looks like there was a real struggle with this that maybe we didn't know about to begin with. Also want to point out as well, they have his tax returns. The Supreme Court, yeah, you know, this is a huge battle all the way to the Supreme Court. Financial resources, I think may have been a factor here too. In Australia, income tax, a portion of income tax goes to the state, a portion goes to the feds, to federal government. I believe that's the case in America. Correct me, please, if that's not correct. That income tax has both a federal and a state-based component, which means if there's accusations of tax income fraud, wouldn't the feds be able to pick that up too? Okay, so what I'm getting at here is those tax returns could be further investigated. I don't know. Let's see. The judgment card. There's an inevitability here crowning this reading that something would come to an end. Many prosecutors, DAs have campaigned and on going after Trump, but nothing's really come to fruition. Judgment card. Four of Wands in the near future. Okay, so this is the family and the home. Let's see what's happening here. Nine of Pentacles. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, like money, independence and money. What's this in regard to? The environment around is the reliability of something, the sustained, slow reliability of something. So, the Four of Wands is also my card for the Democrats. Four of Pentacles, insecurity, yeah. I feel he was insecure. There was insecure about the actual case, he just wasn't confident is what I'm feeling. King of Swords in the outcome. So this is a plan and a strategy. This is air energy. This is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy as an outcome card. He made the decision. He took control. Five of Cups, regret and loss about the past in relation to what's already gone. And the Devil card. Toxicity. At the base of the pack is the Ten of Pentacles. I think the Trump organization will be indicted. We have the Fool card and the Death card. Something coming to an end here. The Ten of Pentacles is my card for the Trump organization. I've often felt that will be wound up. Bragg also was instrumental in winding the Trump charity up. He worked on that case. So there's a plan and a strategy here. There's a regret about the past. Toxicity. There's some kind of, within his own team, within the team, there were a lot of issues there. Okay, what's this King of Swords here? What's this King of Swords? So we have here the Four of Swords, retreat. He made the decision to retreat. The Eight of Wands. This is speed, the speed of something. And the Six of Wands, moving out of troubled waters. That case, there was more wrong with that case than what we know about. In relation to finances and the burden of, or the evidentiary link between Weiselberg and Trump. And he made a decision. But there is also strategy behind there. Was he on the take? I think he didn't want to risk. He didn't want to risk something. Now, the voters of Manhattan voted him in. He beat the Republican candidate. It is a Democratic state. The Attorney General is Letitia James, a Democrat. So, yeah, Seven of Wands. He's going to have to defend himself, and we've got the Devil card here. Again, it's pretty toxic. So did he take money? Well, I'm going to say I don't think so. I think that he was really, I think the case had problems. I think that a lot of financial resources had been expended and a lot of personnel had been committed to it. It was a huge juggernaut. He just wasn't confident that he could win. And he had that fear. He had the fear that there wasn't the financial resources and that he didn't have the evidentiary proof there. So, what's going to happen? Well, I guess the voters, there's already contenders now saying they will pursue the case against Trump. I guess it goes back onto the merry-go-round, and at the end of the day, Bragg will have to answer to the voters. Incredibly disappointing, but again, I have to say, the DOJ, the ball's in the DOJ's court in so many ways. Again, and a Democratic Party Attorney General in Merrick Garland. Okay, I do believe Trump will be ruined. I do believe that the DOJ ultimately will prosecute him for crimes. Okay, so I'll do a separate reading on that because I know you're really disappointed. All right, let's just go to the French elections. We might go to the Prisma Tarot deck. I'm using the Gilded Tarot cards and the Prisma Tarot. Okay, let's go here. Alrighty. Alrighty, okay. Alright, Macron. Simple question. Will Emmanuel Macron be re-elected? Will Emmanuel Macron be re-elected? Page of Wands, with not by much. You know, when I see that, it's not the King of Wands. And we've got the Queen of Swords here. You know, I think the right-wing candidate is a woman here. She might do better than what we think. Five of Cups, regret. It's about the past. That's at the foundation of the reading. The Star card in the past, hope. I think, you know, he has support, but it would be really close. The Nine of Cups crowning this reading. I like to see that. That's about wish fulfillment. It potentially, yes, but it wouldn't be by much. The Eight of Swords in the immediate future. There is a restriction here and a worry. I think a worry that he won't be re-elected. The Three of Pentacles in the here and now. I always see Notre Dame, rebuilding Notre Dame here. Three of Pentacles talks about working together to rebuild something. Can also be dark money. And the Empress. Okay, I think Russia's, again, the Empress can sometimes be my representative card for Russia. I think Russia's in here with its propaganda. And I think the far-right candidate does have close ties to Russia. Five of Swords in the hopes and fears. Sabotage. It's so... Oh, when Biden came out and said, Putin, my God, how can this man still be in power, or whatever the words were. Here, he said what we all are thinking. Page of Cups, there's a bombshell surprise here. And the Eight of Pentacles. Somebody with skills. So, and the Nine of Pentacles, yeah. These are, strictly speaking, you know, pages are not kings or queens, you know. There's a level of reduction there. But I do see with all these positive cards here in the outcome position, I do see that potentially he does get through. We also have it's conflicted, the reading. And the High Priestess is here at the base of the pack. Let's just pull a clarifier on that Page of Cups, because sometimes that means something unexpected happens and somebody is chosen for their skill. I don't think it's the far right candidate. I think if anyone's going to get through, it will be Macron, but not by much. There is the former president thinking of throwing his hat in the ring as well. Page of Cups here. What's this? Page of Cups. The World, endings and beginnings. The Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords. They are, again, all very, very positive cards. There's a lot of, there's partisanship. Let's take a look at... I just want to see French candidates, because I'm thinking Macron will be returned, but not by much. Or somebody that's perceived as really skilled will. Anyway, that's probably for another day. But at this stage, I'm going to say that Macron will just scrape through. Or, you know, we could, with that Page of Cups there, I can't say really. It looks like there could be something that surprises us. Whoever becomes president is quite skilled. We'll read on the candidates. Perhaps it's not the far right lady that takes it. I don't think. It's definitely not that. If anything, it's Macron scraping through. All right, they're the readings for today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.